All right, the Democratic convention just wrapped up for the most part. Joe Biden had a good night, I think. He didn't, goof up. Yeah, there was no gaffes. I know Six Hexenhammer likes to call him the gaff master. I don't believe there was any of that tonight, which is good for him. Overall, the speech was very boring and monotone, and he just hit the same notes we've been hearing all throughout the year from literally everybody who hates Trump. He's a bastard. He's an orange man. He's racist. Some bullshit about Charlottesville. Of course, they're lying about Charlottesville. That's all they really got. They'll go out and they'll condemn protesters who were peaceful for the most part, with the exception of that dumbass who ran over that fat bitch. And that's really about it, while simultaneously ignoring the violent George Floyd riots, the violent riots perpetrated by the violent Black Lives Matter activist thugs, the violence that is directly connected to over 30 murders, 30 deaths, directly linked to the violent riots. People have burned alive in buildings. People have been raped. These Black Lives Matter activist thugs, they laid siege to certain city blocks, and they created autonomous zones completely divorced from the country, pretty much. It's an autonomous zone. They were completely divorced from any law and order recognized by the United States, and people got assaulted, they got robbed, they got raped. According to the former police chief, Carmen Best, calls for rapes and robberies, assaults, etc., went up 3 times the normal rate. So this is, can you imagine if it was like a bunch of MAGA dorks who took over a city block and those types of things ensued? They would never shut up about it. This would easily dwarf Charlottesville forever. They would never talk about Charlottesville ever again. Fortunately, people on the right seem to have their temperament seems to be in check for the most part, and most of them seem to be sensible, with the exception of dumbasses and fakes like Richard Spencer, who I absolutely detest. He's a CNN contributor, by the way. But we're going to be talking about the convention. I'm going to be reacting not to the whole thing, just to really relevant, just to specific moments that really deserve scrutiny, in my opinion. Things that really are telling about the entire, at least telling about the state of the Democratic Party, their identity crisis, the trouble they're having with a lot of the things that they talked about and they advocated for the past. They seem to have completely dispensed with those core values to own Trump, right? Things like the Me Too movement that has fallen by the wayside, largely because Bill Clinton was allowed to speak at this event. Now, let me say something really quick about Bill Clinton here. Bill Clinton, a couple weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, whatever, weeks from the time of making this video, there was a sex trafficking victim that has a legal suit against Ghislaine Maxwell. I apologize for that goof. Ghislaine Maxwell. And she names names. Al Gore, Bill Richardson, former governor of New Mexico, Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, Stephen Hawking, may he roast in hell forever, Alan Dershowitz, and, of course, yours truly, Bill Clinton. He was there. Now, the morning of the speech that he gave at the DNC, I think it was night 2 or 3, it doesn't matter, it was published online. The articles were popping up. Images of Bill Clinton receiving a massage. It wasn't sexual, he was being pampered by a sex trafficking victim. This is Bill Clinton. This is Bill Clinton. And he was speaking at the event, and he got heckled, and the media has not been reporting on it. MSNBC did, but they bleeped out, they omitted the most relevant part. Well, I'm going to play it for you. I got it right here. I'm going to go ahead and react to this live. For the good people, we're going to listen to it twice because it's a really short clip.
Nobody can dispute the fact that we need. Oh yeah.
One more time.
Nobody can dispute the fact that we need. Oh yeah.
I almost felt bad for him, but then I remembered that he traveled to the pedo island that was owned by Epstein a bajillion times, and he's also a globalist, and he fucked over the American citizenry who knows how many times, and he's partly responsible for the mess that we're in right now because a lot of these dorks are very cozy with the communist Chinese government. So yeah, I don't feel bad anymore. So of course I hearted it and I retweeted it, as you can tell, spreading the good word. I'm going to leave a link in the description to this, so feel free to go ahead and show everybody that people are finally calling him out. I'm also going to leave a link in the description to that article where they published images of him being pampered by a sex trafficking victim, the one that is bringing a suit against Ghislaine Maxwell and was the victim of Jeffrey Epstein, among many other women. Who knows where the rest of them are? They're probably dead, to be honest. Another issue that I had before we move on to the clip that I want to show was I have contention with a lot of the COVID nonsense, and this is going to segue into the final clip that really bothered me. But all the usual suspects that are, that have speaking roles throughout this cringe fest, they were all saying, what we've been hearing throughout most of the pandemic was that the president of the United States is incompetent. He essentially allowed this Chinese virus to run amok throughout the country, killing over 100,000 people. And it's total bullshit. It's total bullshit. And they want to say, like, they'll mock the president of the United States for the unemployment numbers, but completely omitting the fact that the president of the United States did not lock down any specific county, city, or state. None of that. The president of the United States did not jail people, imprison them for standing on sand. There's been mothers who have been jailed in front of their babies, in front of their kids, because the parent allowed their kids to play in a park. Now, let's close our eyes for a minute and imagine that Whitmore, Sisolak, Newsom, Pritzker, all these fucking cunts were not responsible for the lockdowns or the tyranny they imposed on the citizenry. But it was the president of the United States that decided to throw small business owners in jail for wanting to keep their businesses afloat so they can feed their family, pay their employees. Can you imagine if it was the president of the United States that was jailing innocent Americans for literally standing on sand during the fucking summer in 90-degree, 100-degree weather? They would probably try to impeach him. They would call him a tyrant. They would call him a fascist. They'll get on their fucking soapbox and be like, aha, I told you. He's a fascist. He's implementing fascism. Look how, what not a big deal COVID-19 is. It's just a flu. Now all of a sudden, it's not a big deal. But Trump never took the bait. He didn't play a role in the economy going to shit. He didn't shut down people's businesses. He didn't take people's jobs. He didn't jail anybody. It was these governors that I mentioned. They were the ones that did it. Kate Brown, fuck her. Fuck these assholes. They fucked us. They took our fucking jobs. They took our civil liberties. And they want to blame the president and call him a fucking tyrant. They want to call him a fascist. They want to call him a Nazi. He didn't do any of those things. If he did, he would be impeached. He would be imprisoned. It would be an international crisis. And it would blow up, and he didn't take the bait. So they fucking ran with it. And they're like, oh, look at all these numbers. Look at all these unemployment numbers. Look at what Trump did. And it's like, Obama gave him the best economy ever, and he fucked it up. Really? The economy that not even the failed President Obama believed in. He didn't believe in it. Trump was saying all these grandiose things about making the economy just blossom into this beautiful flower that we would just be mesmerized. It would be a spellbinding thing to see. And Obama was like, this is impossible. Like, this is pie in the sky nonsense. And he was wrong. 100% wrong. Now, let's segue over to this cuck, Andrew Cuomo, another one of these shithead governors I forgot to mention. But now we're talking about him. Let's watch this clip really quick.
And our current federal government is dysfunctional and incompetent. It couldn't fight off the virus. In fact, it didn't even see it coming. The European virus infected the Northeast while the White House was still fixated on China. The virus had been attacking us for months before they even knew it was here.
So we're talking about you heard what he said, right? The European virus. The European virus. It's the Chinese virus, dude. Like, it literally came from Wuhan, China. The legacy media was reporting this as the Wuhan Chinese flu. The Wuhan flu. But a lot of these globalists, they run interference for the Communist Party of China. They're in bed with these globalists that aim to destroy the American citizenry. They aim to harm our families. He's running cover for them. That's why he calls it the European virus. Because Europeans aren't going to give a shit. They're used to getting shit on. So look what's happening in Europe. Absolutely fucking despicable. Absolutely fucking disgusting. They should drag that fucking moron out of office and get him replaced with somebody who's sane. I can't stand it, man. I mean, the lies about the Chinese virus, the lies about the economy hurts worse than all their bullshit about like diversity, all these brave people. They're parading around all these morons talking and singing in all these goofy languages. And this is clearly not Americana. You see Trump, the guests that are going to appear at the RNC, victims of corruption, victims of the fake news industry, regular Americans are going to appear there. And they're not going to have all these, A-list celebrities. It's not going to be a fucking cringe fest like what we saw with Biden and Kamala Harris. Like Biden's like, oh, I've been hanging out with my friends Beyonce and Cardi B, and I was doing the nay-nay. We're just chilling, and I'm involved in the nay-nay. Oh, I'm getting a call from Ellen DeGeneres. Hey, Ellen, have you heard about the nay-nay? And then it cuts to Ellen, and she's like doing the nay-nay or whatever the fuck. And that summarizes the DNC for the most part. And then, of course, the beats that we're all accustomed to. Orange man bad. Orange man racist. His skin is fucked up. He's a fucking bigot. He's a systematic racism, police brutality, blah, blah, blah. John Lewis. Fuck John Lewis. Fuck John Lewis. I don't give a fuck about John Lewis. There's not a goddamn thing that John Lewis did that ever affected me. I don't give a fuck if he died. Good. I don't give a shit. He lived a good life. He's fucking rich. Fuck him. Like, I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't fucking care about any of these people. And they're trying to, like act like normal humans. And it just comes off as such cringe nonsense. Again, kudos to Joe Biden for not fucking up. I can't wait till he loses the election so he can go out and write a book, give the proceeds to his failure of a son so he can buy more drugs. I think the title of the book is going to be called How to Fuck Up a Career I Didn't Deserve in the First Place. Peace out.